So the only story I have tonight is the story of how this happened, because that is just an awesome story. And I think probably like a lot of you guys, I've always loved great stories. Long before I was writing stories, I was listening to them. As a kid, my parents would have friends over for dinner, and long after the dishes had been cleared and other kids had dispersed, I would still be there, even at like 7, 8 years old, listening to stories. And whether it was some wild tale about a neighbor having a standoff with a buffalo, keep in mind I grew up in South Dakota, or some church gossip that I just could not walk away from, that was too good to walk away from, you know what I'm saying? I was there, I was listening, I was engaged, and I think ever since then I've been listening and telling stories. And I think I'm not alone in this love of great stories, obviously just seeing this tonight. So when you think about it, I've been thinking about just how often we're sharing stories. And kind of just throughout a typical week, you know, you might ask a friend to go on a walk or a bike ride. My cyclist friends are in the corner. Or you might have people over for dinner, or call your mom on a Sunday evening like every good child should. And throughout all those things, when you think about it, what we're really doing is sharing stories. We're sharing experiences. Might be with colleagues on a Monday morning. What we're doing is kind of swapping experiences, and I love that. And I think just by human nature, we're probably sharing stories with people who have similar experiences as our own, or similar backgrounds as our own. Because, you know, it's our friends, or it's our family, or neighbors, our coworkers. So a couple months ago, I started thinking, gosh, wouldn't it be cool to come up with a way where we could share, where I could hear stories of people outside my immediate circle, even though there's a lot of friends here tonight, actually. But I just thought that'd be kind of fun, people who I wouldn't normally hear their stories. So without much thought, like any good Facebook post, I put it out there without thinking through it too much. And I just put on Facebook, hey, would anyone be into a storytelling night? And this was in like April. And, you know, I thought it'd be a couple people gathered in the corner of a coffee shop or a brewery, just like sharing fun, random stories. Well, I close my laptop, I go to a work meeting, and I come back, and there are 40 to 50 comments within a couple hours of people saying, yes, count me in. I want to share a story. I want to hear other stories. Count us in. And my friend Susan Talbot wrote, hey, how can I help? I promptly said, please be the MC. I'm terrified of public speaking. My friend Scotty Beam, who also happens to be the production director for Sirius XM Radio, said, right? Keep friends like that. Said, what can I do? And I'm like, dude, can you do our sound? So Scotty's doing our sound tonight. Chris Burns, co-founder of Old Ox Brewery, wrote, we'd love to host. I'm like, done. And he actually suggested the name Tails and Ales. Like, perfect, done. I'll give you credit for that, you know, in the copyright or whatever. And I shot a couple emails out to friends who I've worked with through the newspaper and just said, hey, any tips on how to get sponsors? Like, just enough to cover costs. Immediately, those two people wrote back and said, please count us in as sponsors. And it was Rusty Foster with Bowtie Strategies and Beth Erickson with Visit Loudon. Without even me formally asking, I was just asking for advice on how to get sponsors. So suddenly this thing has happened. I asked my friend Hillary Davis to design the logo. Bam. She's amazing. My cousin made the t-shirts. My husband is manning the video camera, and here we are. Welcome to Tails Nails.